did, I started off with just $100. I started off with $100 because once I saw, I was able to put it on the market and see how it worked, and it made sense to me in my head. Like, okay, I made $3 today. That's 3% of $100. So first get a working knowledge of it before you put big money into the stock market or into crypto. Start small and with a number that makes sense to you so that you can see how it works and know the ebb and flow. So one of the biggest things about crypto, and like you can find all the cryptos are pretty good ones to invest in. You always want to invest in something when it's gone down. A lot of people get scared when they're investing in something and it goes down. But that's not the time to get scared. That's the time to reinvest. Because if it goes down fast, it's going to come back up just as fast in the next few days. So don't get scared. Don't use money that you need right now, and have a plan. How long are you going to leave this money out there? If it's not money that you can't live without for 6 months, don't do it. There are some TradingView. TradingView.com is one of the best ways to get into crypto and into the stock market, because they have like it's like a fake account almost that you can start. You can virtually play with money and see, like, if you invested it in this, how would it do? That way you can kind of see how it goes up and down, see what you would have made if you had invested, and then you'll learn what your tolerance is. The biggest thing is, what is your tolerance for investment? If you are a person who gets really scared when you lose $10 and you're like, dang, I could have put that in my gas tank, you got low tolerance. If you're a person who spends $100 on Jordans and buys 2 pairs and you don't care where the money is, you got a better tolerance for investment. And if you invested that $400 on the stocks, you would have made some money, and then Jordans ain't gonna make you no money, boo. I'm sorry.
Right.
So find out what your tolerance level is. Low to medium. If you're somewhere in the middle, be that person that starts with the $100, sees how it works on the market, and then maybe the next time you have a little bit extra money and you watched a stock and you have seen that it's going up and down, and what the fluctuation is, and now it's on a down point, and you can invest that $500 now. And with a little bit of security, knowing that, okay, I've seen that this has good movement, and when it goes back up, I'm going to be watching it. There's TradingView, a lot of these platforms, Robinhood. I use Coinbase for crypto. I use E-Trade for stock market. And they all have things where you can set an alert that says, okay, I invested it 10 cents. When it gets to 20 cents, send me an alert because I want to cash out. Or maybe you just want to watch it at that point and see if it keeps from going higher. So use all these tools to your advantage. Don't be scared, because scared money don't make money, but sometimes your money is better left to take care of the things that you need to take care of today. Any questions?
What was the name of that mock app that you said that you used?
TradingView.com.
TradingView.com?
It has a lot of different indicators. So once you look at a stock, a graph is going to come up. In the top right, you're going to see indicators. There's a few different ones, but I did a lot of research on like YouTube and just following a lot of knowledge about what trading is and what platforms to use. And try this one. It's called Ichimoku. ICHIMOKU. Is an indicator. So if you go to any one of these websites and you look up the indicators and put that in, it's going to pop up. Look up a video on how to read it. It's one of the simplest indicators to read to know whether to invest now or to wait on a stock. Do your homework first. Spend at least a week, a month, gathering some information so that it's applicable knowledge. I can tell you everything about it right now, but when you go and put your money on there, I don't want you saying, well, Chariese told me that if I invest on this and it's low, then I'm going to make my money. That's not how it works. Do your homework. There's nothing that I can tell you that's going to be better than you watching it, taking notes, seeing how the ebb and flow is, and applying that knowledge to that stock. But if you have any questions, you can hit me up. I'm always available, text message, Facebook, and and I'll answer your question as best as I can. Pastel?
Okay, sometimes when I'm in a car with you, you have something calling your phone about
So
that's what people, I think, issue.
So I'm deep in this, like, you know, I went down a rabbit hole in the stocks. So I have, there's an alert that you can do on your phone. It's like an app. You know, it's a million apps out there on your phone that are here to help you with everything in your life. There is nothing that you need help with in your life that there is not an app for. So this one is called cryptoalerts.com. You go on there and say you've invested in Dogecoin. You put in Dogecoin, and then you say, I want to know when this stock goes up, when it increases, the volume increases. Put it in, you're going to put the stock, you want to know when the volume increases, and how do you want to be notified. I get notified by call because I ignore text messages for too long. So people be calling me in the middle of the night, they call me in the middle of the night, my boyfriend be like, crypto calling you. Don't tell me you're changing that, it ain't crypto. Like, no. This is really the crypto alert. And all y'all out there, don't get weird and start changing your news names to crypto. It could work, but that's not why we here today. So, but yeah, so that's what be calling me at all times of day. It's like, Dogecoin is up 10%. And then I'll go and check on my little app and see how it's doing.
I've got a question. Maybe I missed this. What app do you trade off of? Is it Moogle? Is it Robinhood? Is it Regal?
Depends. For stocks, I use E-Trade. I use E-Trade because it's backed by JP Morgan Chase. And I would try to use one that's heavily backed by a known financial institution, because Crypto.com, I don't know who they backed by, but if you don't know who somebody's backed by, don't put your money over there.
Can I ask you one other question? As far as trends go, do you see that kind of during the night, there's a lot of activity that's happening maybe in some foreign markets?
So it kind of depends, like what stocks are, if it's stocks are different. Stocks are only Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, but 9 to 5 on the East Coast, which is different for us, that's 7 to 3. So when I was doing stocks heavily, I would wake up at 5 a.m., read the news, the trending, the financial news I do Yahoo Finance. That's where I get my financial news from. Do Yahoo Finance. I would look up, I had like maybe 3, don't start off with a whole bunch of stocks, because that's what I did when I got started. I had 11 stocks, and I was on there all the time, checking. What's happening? What's up with the news? So I got down to 3. 3 is something workable. You can check that every day, set up your alerts, and then it's kind of like a microwave. When you hear the beep, like, what happened? Do I need to cash out, or what do I need to do? So difference between stocks and crypto. Crypto never stops. It's going 24/7, 365 days a week, so you're not gonna get no time off of crypto. Stocks are a little bit more flexible in that way, because after 3 o'clock on Friday, you're not gonna get no movement until Monday again. So with like crypto, some of them move at night, because if you're on a foreign stock, you need to be checking where this stock is from. If it's from China, that's gonna be at night. You're gonna see the most movement from 6 a.m. to like 9 a.m. But whatever time zone it is. So be mindful of that. Where is this stock coming from? Is it a U.S. stock? Is it a U.S. cryptocurrency? That way, you'll know what time you need to be paying attention for and when you can stop paying attention. Once again, crypto never stops. You'll never be off work if you decide to take I wouldn't say be a professional cryptocurrency trader full time, unless you really go invest your time. You don't have no bills, and you can just make it work.
Do you have any advice of what kind of industry, like what kind of industry or upcoming industry that to be interested in?
Yes, industries to watch for right now. Medical marijuana. There are a lot of states that have just legalized. Also, there's a lot of other investment avenues out there in medical marijuana that aren't just on stocks. A lot of companies are looking for investors. I invested in one in Missouri 3 years ago. I invested $5,000. Now they're being bought out by another company. We're in negotiations for a buyout. That $6,000 is going to now make me, like, they're saying $22K. and it's been a few years. So there's a lot of ways that you can invest your money, but you gotta have a high tolerance. I wasn't calling that man every day like, hey, what's up with my money? So you can't be calling these people every day and say, not gonna answer your call, you're gonna irritate me so bad, and then they ain't gonna wanna talk to you no more. So if you don't got a tolerance, build a tolerance. Investment is real. You will get rewarded if you pay attention and you're diligent in your investment, and you don't put it on autopilot and forget about it, but let it move and see what it does. Unless all hell breaks loose out here and it's another recession like 2008, you're not gonna lose all your money. As long as you invest in credible businesses. Me personally, with stocks, I invest in companies that I use. I invested in Kroger because I go to that grocery store all the time. I see what they're doing with their business models. They're opening new stores in other places, things that you can follow easily like that. You know, what other ones? I used Square. A few years ago, I realized everybody started using Square. You start seeing everybody use a company, you know that company is going to do well in the next 2 years. Because you gotta think, financial reports aren't every day. They don't say, I made $1 million today, and they report it today. It's a quarterly thing. You're gonna see quarterly reviews and quarterly financial reports for companies. If you're investing in a stock and they haven't submitted a quarterly review in a long time, don't invest your money. Because I did that with some penny stocks. And they removed them from the over-the-counter market. Is like where you can buy it, where the general public can buy it. They changed it to a pink sheet, which is like, you have to Google it. It's not good to be on a pink sheet because they are not reporting regularly. So they got kind of like, it's like a sanction almost that a stock gets when you haven't put in your quarterly reports. So make sure that they're putting in good quarterly reports. If it's a company like Kroger, you might see like, oh, they're down 20% this month, but that's because a lot of companies, they'll make big investments. They'll like open up 250 stores, which is, to us, that's unfathomable, but for a big company like that, that's an everyday operation to them. So they're gonna lose some money during that quarter, but then you're gonna see it over the next few quarters, it'll start going back up. So, but you always wanna be on the down. You don't wanna wait till it's going all the way back up and then you wanna jump in right here and then you only make 10% as opposed to making the 30% when they was down low. So, any other questions?
Is that why it's important to do dollar cost averaging? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Dollar cost averaging is important too. So, remember I was saying before, you see the stock is going down. Say you put, I'm just gonna throw a figure out there, you put $500 on Kroger. Tomorrow, it goes down. You're like, oh man, I lost $100 and I only got $400 in there. You don't panic and pull your $400 out, put another $100 in. That $100 is going to be more valuable to you than your original investment because once it goes up, you're going to get the percentage from where it dropped all the way back up to where it